this meeting to order. If you'd please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hi, thanks for coming, everyone. It is December 12th. This is the Broadwater County Commissioners' General Business Meeting. Before we get started, just a little bit of housekeeping. We do follow Robert's Rules of Order, an open meeting process, and disability policy. We have a fiscal and fiduciary responsibility to conduct county business as efficiently as possible for all Broadwater County residents. Our meetings are recorded. They are on YouTube, so please state your full name prior to any public comment for the record. Separate conversations need to be removed from the meeting and conducted outside. Outbursts will not be tolerated. Public comment will give each person who wishes to speak an initial 3 minutes to do so, and all comments will be directed to the board chairman. So to start our meeting, as we usually do, I'll call for public comment. Any public comment this morning? All right, that was quick. Montana Minute. Franklin, do you have something good to say about our community or our state?
Well, they got the Costa Bridge lit up again for Christmas. Each year they have a few more lights. They have strung clear across the bridge now, across the river. Looks real good. Excellent job they've done.
Just go along with just the season of being thankful, and I am thankful to be part of the Broadwater County Commission and able to serve this county, and I'm also thankful that it's coming to an end.
There's quite a few things, and I appreciate you're starting with being thankful. We really do live in paradise. It's been cold, but this, in my opinion, there's no better place to live, and for a lot of us, we live here because we choose to live here. So I am thankful, and my Montana Minute is Townsend and Broadwater County. Anybody else have a Montana Minute they want to share? All right, we'll move on to Commissioner's Community Update. Michael, we'll start at your end of the tape.
Well, come in for that conference call on DES and invasive mussels in the lakes, and that was a flop. Nothing, never could get through on that. And then I attended a safety meeting.
Anything to report on the safety meeting?
Wednesday we had a meeting with Corey, commissioner meeting with the county attorney, and also I as well tried to get in on that mussel conference, but it was with no avail.
Never could get it.
Nothing. By the time we got it, it was over. And then I had several emails and texts on the building project.
I was also at the Wednesday meeting with the county attorney, and I had another meeting, so I did actually leave it to try and get on that call, and was thankful that I couldn't, so I was able to go back to the other meeting. This week was the Missouri River Fund. That is just an annual meeting where we have money from Northwestern Energy to put towards a variety of recreational projects on the Missouri River. And it's Great Falls to Madison County, so I don't know, there's 7 or so counties involved with this. They were able to give 100% of the money this year. Every fund or every project got funded, so it was exciting. Also had the Youth Justice Council meeting this week, and the Montana Board of Crime Control. The Youth Justice Council is under the Board of Crime Control, and the big takeaway from that is, I'm going to hand you guys just these are just synopsises of crime in Montana, but the biggest takeaway is both youth justice and crime control for the state of Montana is centered on prevention, partnerships, and collaborating, bringing entities together to maximize what we can do for our state. Great meeting, both of them. So that's all from me. So we have minutes to approve from last week. These were sent out early last week. the right folder here. And we have minutes from December 5th and the December 7th meeting. There's the 5th, and there's the 7th.
I'll make a motion to approve December 5th, 2016 Commissioner meeting minutes.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the December 5, 2016 Commission meeting minutes. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Opposed? All right.
I'll also make a motion to approve December 7th, 2016 Commissioner meeting minutes.
Even though you weren't at the meeting, you can second the motion. Franklin, you just couldn't make the motion. Do you choose to second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of December 7, 2016. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, hearing none, motion carries. Our clock is extremely wrong. It's 10:08, so we'll go ahead and do some mail until 10:15. I don't see any COSs this morning. We'll still give that a chance. So we have some Christmas cards. WWC, Richard Larson and Associates. And that is it for those. We do have a postcard from Shape Up Montana. We put together a group to do a Shape Up a couple of years ago, and I'm gonna see if anybody is interested. It doesn't cost us any money. Just to keep us healthy. We have a bill, a couple of bills here. This is the Connect Telephone monthly maintenance. And we did get our phone system set up. So when people call in, they'll be able to choose which department they want to go to, and all phone calls will not be routed through the clerk and recorder's office. So that should save them quite a bit of time and keep them on working on what they should be and want to be. We do have a letter from the Montana Department of Labor and Industry. This is an election certification, and the road department has voted to unionize. And a copy of that was shared with Dana and with Corey Swanson, the county attorney. And we have two letters, one from Barbara and Gerald Willett, and the other one from Philip and Jean Finger. They are both opposing the Avalanche Irrigation District proposal for irrigating farmland on the other side of the lake. This is not a county project. These are their letters. I would propose that we send copies to Dennis Williams, who's the contact for the project, the Bureau of Reclamation, and to WWC, who's the engineer on the project. Anyone can send us letters and we'll just forward them on your behalf.
I saw the one letter, they're not against the project, they're against this. Now instead of pump direct out of the lake, they're gonna put a bunch of irrigation wells in there, worried about their well, underground water system. And I don't know what the other letter, I haven't seen it yet.
This says
Same,
very,
same.
yeah, very similar.
You say they're not gonna pump out a lake?
They're looking to put pilot wells.
Oh,
And so like, I had a gentleman come in that lives out there, talk to me, and they're worried about their groundwater level, so.
yeah, I was assuming from what I've been hearing, it's all coming out.
Well, that's what it was to be
Yeah.
originally.
So what the concept is that the lake water would boost the underground water, they could pump. I don't know if that, I don't know how that works, but that, they're against the pilot wells.
And those water rights, I understand,
44.
yeah, they were guaranteed to those folks though in '56 when the dam went in. So we have approved claims, and it's in the amount of $51,000. $840.18.
I'll make a motion to approve the approved claims in the amount of $51,840.18.
I'll second.
So we moved and seconded to pay the approved claims in the amount of $51,840.18. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, hearing none, motion carries. We have payroll, this is for 2 weeks, in the amount of $368,268.98.
And I will make the motion to pay payroll in the amount of $368,268.98.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to pay payroll in the amount of $368 to $68.98 for 2 pay periods. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we have a bill here for the ambulance building, water and sewer. We actually put together a fund for this, so I just wanted to bring it forward. It does say from commissioners. I think we should go ahead and pay it to make sure the city gets paid on time, but make sure that this is coming out of the fund and not the commissioner's budget. Unless you guys have anything else to offer on that. Franklin, anything? All right, go ahead and sign it and then just pass it to you guys.
Yeah, just want to show you the total. Just the total.
No, I can still sign it. You already got the 2 on.
Oh, no, I was just showing you the total.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. We had an opportunity last year to do this, and this year we have the opportunity again. Unfortunately, just 2 commissioners, we didn't get to do it last year. We have Lewis and Clark County oftentimes writes grants and will include the smaller counties around them, of which we are one. And this year they are doing again the Brownfields Assessment Grant. What this is assistance in funding brownfields, and brownfields are contamination that needs to be mitigated or cleaned up. It's prior to a superfund, so the idea is to catch it early, prevent it from becoming a superfund, and then turn that property into viable business property. This doesn't cost the county anything, it is just a benefit to the county. And I would like a vote of this commission to, 1, authorize Laura Erickson, the grant writer for Lewis and Clark County, to include Broadwater County in their grant, and also to sign the support letter from Broadwater County. You guys, I think I sent that out via email on Friday afternoon. Some of the past brownfields projects has been the Hop-In, the gas station right at the front of where the blinking light is, that's now Folkford property across from the commercial, and the old Circle K. And the commercial bar. No, the corner bar was another one.
So what task orders would Broadwater County be responsible for?
None at this point. If we have a brownfields, if one is determined, we actually are part of a coalition to actually be able to request brownfields assistance, and that's a federal program. That's it. There's no money for Broadwater County at this point. If we choose to do something, there might be some from us, but this grant only puts us into the Tri-County Coalition that could utilize assessment funding if Lewis and Clark County is awarded the EPA Brownfields Assessment Grant. That's it. We're not being asked to pay for any match, nothing. It's just if there's a pre-Superfund brownfield site, then we are part of a coalition to request assessment money to clean it up. And if you want to postpone this to Wednesday and call Laura Erickson, that would be
Yeah.
fine with me.
I would like to talk to Ms. Erickson.
All right, we will table that. And then the last thing is the memo that we agreed to put together. The only thing missing here is a reminder that department heads are responsible for going through the personnel policy handbook with new employees.
You see that? Motion on that?
No, just if you guys have any edits, or have a problem with it going out to employees today. Hearing none, I'll go ahead and follow through with that. Actually, I'll give you that. All right, 1018 COSs. I don't see any, so we'll go ahead and move on. Billy, did you have a
I
question?
got a question on the union for the road workers, the pros and cons for the county and then the pros and cons for the employees.
I can't speak to the employees. I don't have anything from the county side. You guys?
No. No, because the sheriff's office are a union, so the county already benefits for what the sheriff's office being unionized. So there really isn't any additional benefits for the county, because we already received their insurance, so it's pretty much just for that department.
Except for me.
Right.
You want it?
No, I can't.
Basically, one of the only, like longevity is probably one of the pros for employees on that side.
I don't know why you say that. Unions can't guarantee longevity. That's
They can negotiate a contract though.
right, but there's no guarantee. The deputies get longevity because it's guaranteed to them through Montana Code Annotated. It's a matter of state law.
You just-
I don't know much about it, so.
Brandon?
I would say you probably wouldn't know any pros or cons yet, because obviously you guys wouldn't have a bargaining agreement yet, so that would, we wouldn't know that for quite some time. I think it would be the road crew, the union, and commission sitting down and creating a bargaining agreement.
I mean, I'm sure that's the way it is, I guess, I don't know anything about it, all I know, I just got the same
Yeah, 'cause
information they got.
You guys wouldn't be able to go off of our bargaining agreement, because it's
No.
geared towards something totally
Yeah.
different, so I would say there's none in place yet, really.
It just sounds like a can of worms, so.
Yeah. I
Thanks,
thought-
Brandon. All right, any other questions before we move on? All right, we're close enough to 10:30, and our agenda does say these issues and times are subject to change. So 10:30 or 10:21, Dana Rouser, Roads Department Supervisor, monthly update decision. Good morning.
Morning. I guess, you got my email from last week and went through it all. Okay, that was one of the things, I had to get a doctor's appointment, but, we really haven't done much different than what we did last week. We ended up, what did we do last week? Just got some stuff ready to go for snow plowing, and we're kind of gearing up that a little bit here, so went and did some road checking last week, sent the guys out, and checked on some stuff, no accumulation really. I mean, there's a couple inches here, a couple inches there. I went out Saturday and did some sanding and stuff on a few spots that we have trouble with. Went to Winston, Line Plant Road, you know, a few slick spots to get trucks up and down the road. A few hills down there on Quarter Circle Road that we gotta take care of once in a while. Not a lot of snow. I mean, you know, around top of Quarter Circle there's maybe 3 inches, something like that, you know, it wasn't bad. I came in early this morning, started driving at about 5 and went to Roscoe. We got a little bit of a problem up there. It's drifting just through a small stretch there, you know, but you get up on top, there's about 8 inches there up toward the Craig Knowles is up on top, so TJ's up there taking care of that right now, and other than that, you know, I drove all the way down through North Fork and down through Cottonwood and Ray Creek and down to Avalanche, and that. There's nothing down there, it's just about what we got here, so. Other than that, we're looking pretty good. Three Forks hasn't gotten much. I don't know what they got the other day. I'm going down there this afternoon, so I'll check that out. But other than that, we're just gonna get ready for some plowing and start stockpiling here pretty quick out of the line plant. So I did get the gravel piles moved off that one side of the site down there behind the shop, or you know, on that second ground over there. You can get that building, so. Everything's out of the way, pretty much to the north. So we'll kind of continue to stack to the north of that power line right now. I don't think we'll run out any room over there. I think we should be okay. Try to stay out of you guys' way over there, but I don't know. Whatever. I think it started, I guess. So other than that, that's about all I got. So.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Dana? No, the email helped. I'm glad you're here today, but when you couldn't come last week, that was nice.
Yeah, well, anyway, I'm gonna be, I got my surgery scheduled for Friday. I'll be gone for a minimum of 2 weeks, possibly a little more. Depends on how things go, so we'll kind of keep in touch on that.
Okay,
So, anyway,
all right,
if anybody's got anything, they can talk to you.
okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, and he's pretty much on top of things, so, I mean, he'll take care of it, so.
All right,
Okay.
thanks,
Thanks,
Dana.
Dana.
All right.
And so we are still ahead of things, 10:24. Brian, since you're here, how about Brian Holmes, Solid Waste Supervisor, monthly update decision?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Things have been going good. Everything has started that it's supposed to start. Nothing's broke yet, so we're all doing good. I just talked with Bob Church from Great West this morning. They should have a draft of their bid package to me this week, probably, hopefully by the end of today. We're looking at, we were hoping we could get it advertised this week, but I don't think it's gonna work. I'd like to have a draft to look at before they put it in the newspaper. So it'll be published on the 22nd and the 29th. Those would be the 2 required times. We could publish it again on the 5th, but I need to find out when we can get time with you guys to do bid opening, or do we want Great West to do bid opening and just have them give us a summary?
I think we have to advertise or have it open for advertising 21 or 25 days. And then we should open it since it's a county project.
Okay. So Bob was telling me that it's a 2-week publication, then you have to open within 12 days of the final publication date.
Okay, maybe that's how they cover it.
So maybe we should, with the holidays falling in there, I think we should publish it on the 5th as well.
Okay,
And then that would give us till like the 17th to do the bid opening. 16th is a holiday. I don't know if holidays count, or you extend that out. So I don't know when we could find time to, the next meeting. I don't know when my monthly update is for January. Usually the second Monday, but January gets confusing.
right.
It'll probably be around that time.
But
Yeah.
we just need to make sure we fall in the right timeline.
Okay. Yeah, just let us know when you want that and we'll put it on the agenda.
So you're
anytime
gonna
you
publish the
want.
22nd, 29th, and 5th?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll open somewhere around the 17th.
That'll work.
But, trying to think of anything else that has gone on. Waste total wise, we are way ahead of where we were last year. At the end of November, we had made, I think, 2 trips more to the landfill than we did all of the previous year.
Huh?
So the month of December is it's actually settled down to what it normally is.
Okay.
I've been making, 4 trips a week to the landfill for months, and last week we went twice. So cold weather has settled things down, back to some normal.
I think that's because the building has died down a little bit.
I think that's part of it, and people just don't throw the garbage away in the winter. They don't generate as much, they're not out doing property cleanups, that kind of stuff. So we just always see a decline in the winter months, and we finally got there. So it's kind of nice to get a little breather.
I bet.
My solid waste board has been telling me that they're kind of kicking me to look at whether we need to look at a fee increase or not. My take on fee increases is if we can increase the base of the people we service, if we make sure that all the residents are being paid or being billed correctly, we probably don't need a fee increase. And that puts us in a spot with Department of Revenue, who is the ones that make sure people are being billed, but they're telling me that I have to tell them to add solid waste fees, and I tell them I don't know how to do that. When you hand me the whole tax roll for Broadwater County, I shouldn't have to go through that every year.
Right.
There's gotta be an easier way to do it, and we're still kicking that around, trying to figure out the best way to get that done. You look at other counties that run similar programs with solid waste fees and districts, and they've got accountants on staff and all kinds of things, and I don't want to go that far with it. But it wouldn't be nice to know that we're collecting all the funds that are due to us.
Sure.
Making sure everybody's paying their fair share of the waste district fees. This week should be a telling point on the revenue side of things. I should see revenues coming in from the taxes being paid in November. We should see an increase in our revenue because of that. If we don't, then we've got a problem, and we need to figure out something, because that means people weren't assessed fees, and that's not good. So I'll keep an eye on that, let you know what I find out.
Hey, Brian, would you also let Corey know, we've asked Corey to, on behalf of the county, address the Department of Revenue and many of the issues that we're having. This is just one more to add to the list, so.
The one that got me going last time was, I had a citizen call up and say we've been overbilled on solid waste fees. I went to the Revenue Department, the same desk that I've gone to ever since I've been here, and they've been able to handle my questions, and I was told you did not do that. That's not acceptable. They are the ones that flip that switch. They need to be able to tell me if they're going or not. And I spoke with June. She said, yeah, we should be able to take care of that. And we'll take care of it in the future. But had a few residents call and have questions about their solid waste fees. So I do know they've been billed on some residences.
As I say,
It's a funny thing though, people always call up and say they're being billed too much. I never have anybody call up and say, well, I did have one guy call up and say he wasn't billed. because I talked to him last year and said we would put it on his fees, and we never did it. Revenue never marked the box.
Sure.
So, I can't say that nobody ever calls and said they're not paying enough, because I have had one person to,
With the increased trips up there, how's that look on your budget?
we should be okay. Well, again, I don't know until I see revenue. There were some issues with the way that the budget was done this year. My line item for assessed fees increased by $200,000 on the revenue side, from what it had been and from what the average should be.
Sure.
That gives me a little bit of a heartache. It'll be fine if everybody pays what they're supposed to pay and everything's fine, we should be good. But if it doesn't, I don't know what we do. It was changed from what I requested it to be when I submitted my budget request. It was changed. I found out about it the day we got our final budget reports. So it's taken a while to figure out why. And I don't know. We'll just see how it shakes out. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then we have to be creative. But all in all, everything's looking like it's going well. So I think that's all I have.
All right.
Do you have questions for me?
No, that's it, that I have.
Anyone else? Questions for Brian?
Any questions from the audience?
All right, looks like there are none.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Keep up the good work.
We'll try.
All right. And we are a few minutes early for our public hearing, but I think what I'll do, Nicole, our agenda does say these issues and times are subject to change. So before going into the public hearing, would you give us kind of an introduction
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
the next subject, and then we'll go ahead and take public comment and move on from there.
Absolutely. I'm Nicole Brown, Community Development Director for the county. I think I know most of you here. And I have with me Blake Bills. He's the plant manager for Greymont Western, just up the hill there.
Thank you.
So what I'm going to give you
Thank you.
is a copy. Are you working off of? You're welcome. And we are here today requesting an abatement of taxes. I have copies. Do you want one? For the public, if anybody's interested. Okay, but what I have here. Okay, I'll just give one here.
Hey, Nicole, can I have an extra one for
Oh, I'm sorry. You want one? Sure. Sorry, Michelle. So what they're doing today is they are actually requesting an abatement of their taxes. So what that means is they're not going to be requesting a reduction in their taxes. Greymont has put in some new infrastructure, and they have the ability to fill out a form, and they go through this process to request a reduction in their new taxes. So we're still going to be getting additional taxes from them for this new infrastructure. We're just asking for a reduction. So, and you can see that in these columns here. It says taxes with incentive and incentive. And then Blake will give you a little bio on Greymont. So,
All right.
if you want that now, or do you want to wait till the public hearing?
Let's go ahead and get that
Okay.
bio now, and then that way we have all the foundational information for public comment. So if you'd like to share whatever you'd like to share with us, we are all ears.
Okay. My name's Blake Bills. I'm the plant manager up at Greymont. I'm sure some of you are probably familiar with the plant. Basically, this came about just from the addition that we spent. We spent about $6 million in an improvement in a hydrate process, where we take the quick line, introduce water to make hydrate. It's used for water treatment, asphalts, and things like that. But what we did was, Greymont got to the point where our hydrator process was to the point to where we either needed to make those improvements with it or take the business to another Greymont facility. They have 20 plants throughout North America. So the option there was they could have gone to another plant with a hydrator and gone that route, which we would have seen a job reduction and some things at the plant here. With a lot of work from the guys up at the plant and that, we got it to where they invested the $6 million to do that upgrade in the nitration process, in the hydrate process. And basically what that's done is it's improved to where we've been able to maintain the jobs that we had, as well as we've introduced a few new jobs because of it. And with that, we continue to look forward to, there's a lot of other things that we're looking at, to doing some improvements down at the rail, up in the quarry and some other areas. So basically the corporate office was going to have somebody come. It ended up being me. Sorry about that, but basically what it is we're just trying to, like Nicole says, just do the abatement from just the taxes from this new increase of taxes that we've seen, just for this short term, whatever the program is. So we're not asking to do, you know, cut the thing bone dry, but just, you know, we do our fair share, but we just feel like it would help us at the plant if we had this reduction to show corporate that Broadwater County and Townsend and everybody is willing to work with Graymont and make things better for us here in Broadwater County, because it's by far the thing that I'm looking at most of all is to keep the plant here, keep it functioning, and to make it grow. So that's kind of where we're at. Graymont does spend a lot of time and put forth money to support Broadwater County and Townsend. Almost everybody works up there is from Townsend, so there's a lot of support here in the town. I guess that's about it. That's all I've got.
Thank you very much.
Can I add to that also, just for the audience's knowledge, because you have this paperwork in front of you. So the new taxes, the abatement is over the course of 10 years, and so it's on a staggered basis. So at the end of 10 years, they're going to be paying that full amount. It's just, they're just getting a reduction over the course of 10 years. So the new taxes that Broadwater County will be getting, if you give them the abatement today, will be $42,998 new taxes just for 2017. So over the course of this 10 years, you will be getting $459,277 more with the abatement. On top of what they're already paying.
Okay.
And that's if you give them the abatement.
Sure.
The reduction they're asking for over the course of 10 years will be $187,614. A discount. I guess I shouldn't even say reduction because we're still getting that new, just at a discounted rate.
Okay, thank you. And what I'll do is I'll give you and your team a chance to close.
Okay.
At the end of public comment, we'll probably close public comment and then I'll hand it to you guys to make any, clear up any misunderstandings, make any further comments, and then we'll move to decision. That's okay with you guys. All right. So at this point, what we're going to do is close this regular commission meeting. We're going to go ahead and open a public hearing for consideration of resolution to approve the tax benefits application of Graymont Western US Inc. for qualifying capital improvements to property. So, any public comment or questions? The comment? Hello.
Hi. For the record, my name is Eric Seidensticker. I'm the program manager for the Montana Business Assistance Connection in Helena. We would just like to follow up that the commission and would see a return on investment on this. The Graymont has put together a substantial amount of improvement money, and that the added benefit of a 10-year tax abatement would be great for not only Graymont, but it would set up the long picture for Graymont moving forward. And as he mentioned, the idea that the county and the city supports what Graymont has done, and just to continue to support them and not lose their added value and effort.
Thank you very much. Any other public comment? Public comment? All right, seeing none, we will go ahead and close this public hearing. And since there isn't a lot of comments, do you have anything to close with, Nicole, or any of the team?
You know, I would echo what Eric said. You know, Graymont has been a fantastic neighbor. I think everyone in this room can agree to that. You know, and again, we're not asking for a reduction in what they're paying, just a reduction in the new taxes that they would be paying, and only over the course of 10 years. So, you know, I don't see where there's a negative for the county.
And Nicole, could you talk a little bit about the summary that you gave us?
Absolutely.
What is the percentage of reduction for years 2017, 18, 19, and going through until 2026? Is it all, it doesn't look like it's all the same reduction.
No, it's not the same, and I am sorry, I don't know the answer to that. The Department of Revenue figures all of this out, and I have this really fancy table of calculations here that I didn't read, because I really only learned about this. So no, I'm sorry, I don't have an answer in the percentage on how they do that. When folks come in, when they're looking to put in new infrastructure that may qualify for abatement, they fill out what's called a CAB 1 from the Department of Revenue. It comes to the county, and I then send it on to the Department of Revenue and say, hey, can you give me this? This is really all I'm caring about. Not that I don't care about their math, but the fact that they do it for me, I don't go back and look at it. So just because this quick and dirty form here is easy to see, what are we asking for? If we say no, we're still getting this much. If we say yes, we're still getting this much. So I don't know what their percentage is.
Okay, one of the gentlemen in your team behind you had his hand
Oh, good.
waving just a minute ago.
I just,
Nice.
so on Montana Code Annotated, MCA code allows this tax abatement for businesses that are coming in for new, typically it's for industrial or projects that create capital investment that transform a product. It's basically for manufacturing. So if you're a farmer that just has wheat, that's one thing, but if you want to actually process the wheat into flour or into a product, you then qualify for this type of abatement. And again, what it is for the first 5 years, you're taxed, your net new project is taxed at 50% of the value of the project. On year 6, it's taxed at 60%, at year 7, it's 70%. So by year 10, you're back to 100% of your taxes that you would have been doing. And I think Brian picked it up very much, is we had $6 million worth of work. A lot of that money went to contractors, but those contractors were here in town for a long period of time. And a lot of that additional money stayed here instead of going out of the region. Graymont is very good just in the work that they do. I know the hotel does very well on a series of time. What's very nice is their rotary kilns have to be relined on a fairly routine basis. When those guys come in, guys and gals come in to do that work, they're here and they spend a lot of money in our community. This is the type of business that pays dividends long-term in a community. And I think our big key is they are having some rail issues and a couple other issues. As a community, if we're showing that we're supportive of Graymont and what they do, we may be able to make sure that those projects happen here at the corporate level instead of Calgary or some of their other plants. There are 20 other plants that are in North America. So this is some of the tax abatements. It's kind of a one-time deal. This one, potentially, the idea is to try to prime the pump so that they will continue to spend money. Again, if they do spend any money on the rail, you do any work to rail and you're spending $1 million right there. I mean, it isn't cheap stuff. That's why, as an economic development coordinator, we love these types of businesses, because when they spend money, they spend lots of money. And that's typically very good for the community.
So you said the first 5 years is at 50, year 6 is at 60,
Yes,
and then years 7 through 9 is at 70?
70, 80, 90.
Oh, okay,
So it's
gotcha.
stair steps. So they will be depreciating that equipment, some of that upgrade at the same time. But as you see, the actual abatement actually tapers down to only $4,600 that you potentially could have received. The thing is if we can entice a $2 or $3 million project on the rail or something else, you're gonna more than make that up in what little you wouldn't see. Again, the idea is trying to promote yourself as being pro-business or pro-growth, especially on businesses that actually drive taxable value. As an economic development or call centers and things like that don't have a lot of taxable value. They have jobs, but what happens is they start chasing the cheapest workers so they can pick up and move, and what happens on those types of tax abatements on year 8 or year 9, or usually year 10, they will actually pull everybody out and go someplace else that gives them an abatement. These guys just did $6 million worth of investment that they bolted to the ground and poured in the ground. So it's tough. You can't pick that up and move it somewhere.
Sure.
All right. Last chance for public comment? All right, we're gonna go ahead and close the public hearing. We are back at our regularly scheduled commission meeting. And now we are at decision, resolution to approve tax benefits application for Graymont Western US Inc. for qualifying capital improvements to property. So, commissioners, what say you?
I'd make a motion to go ahead and approve this tax abatement for the Graymont Western US INC.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the tax benefits application for Graymont Western US Inc. for qualifying capital improvements to property. Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Right, it looks like the motion carries. Congratulations and thank you very much. You've been a great partner to Broadwater County, we appreciate that.
No, and I'd like to extend a welcome to anybody who wants to come up and visit, please do so. You're more than welcome to give me a whistle and we'll do it for you. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You bet. All right, we are still ahead of schedule, but we're going to go ahead and motor on. So Jeremy Fadness, WWC Engineering, signed contract and notice to proceed for building project for search and rescue, 4-H extension, weed, mosquito, dash decision. Thank you for sitting through and being patient.
I have the contract from the contractor. There's just 2 copies, it's the same contract, just we gotta get 2 signed copies of this.
Okay.
So this is just the contract for what you awarded to R&R Taylor Construction. We received the bonding and insurance, as well as 2 signed contracts from the contractor. Also, we worked with them to try to come up with some cost savings. I sent out an email last week. Hopefully everybody got that. It looks like we can, they're on board with taking out the foam insulation from the ceiling and doing a
lid?
What's that?
A lid?
Yeah, doing a, sheetrock the ceiling and do a blown-in insulation. That's gonna save $20,000 on the project. Other than that, he went through everything really, really well, and he said, the project, he couldn't really find any other savings other than that in the project. He said that the rest of the plans were pretty economical as far as what we're proposing. So, what we'll do is we'll do a change order. I've talked to the contractor. Once the contract is signed and we've issued a notice to proceed, we'll go ahead and do a change order for that change to reduce the cost of the project.
So
Okay.
their bid was what? I forget.
631,978.
631,978.
And then, so they can save us 20?
I can pull my email here. I don't know exactly what it was. It was right around 20 something.
Question, how they can save money when they're gonna come in and put the sheet rock and all that?
That's with, that, they figured that in. They've taken out the spray foam insulation out of the roof and then doing the, they factored in, doing the sheet rock and taping and everything on that roof. That's.
And they figure they're gonna save 20,000?
Over putting in the spray foam.
And my other question is, as soon as this bid was out there, supposedly they had the low bid. And all of a sudden, we're gonna reduce this bid down. I've never heard of that before. And they left, what, 30,000 sitting laying on the table, and all of a sudden they're gonna start reducing. I mean, there's something fishy somewhere.
No, they bid the project for the plans. This happens actually quite a bit. It's called value engineering, where a contractor can come into a project and we work with them, because contractors a lot of times have very good ideas on projects. And we don't, we want their input on that project. So once we've got a contractor selected, then we go to them and say, okay, do you have any suggestions on how we can reduce the cost of this project, or ways that we can do this project better? And on most of our projects, we have contractors come in and give us suggestions, and we'll do a change order before even work starts to make some modifications, so we can make the project better and hopefully reduce the cost of the project. It doesn't always work out to a cost reduction. Sometimes it's the same cost or a cost reduction. Very rarely do we get a change order. We won't do one that costs more. Otherwise, we'll just stick with what we had in plans. So that's what we did here. We went to the contractor and just said, do you have any suggestions? Because, you guys were interested in cost savings. So we went to the contractor and say, hey, the commission is really interested in getting the cost of this project down. Do you have any suggestions? And this is what they came back with. Let's see, so the new total would be $610,705.
610.
705.
All right. Well, that's good news. I mean, every little bit we can save is certainly a benefit.
And we'll keep working with them as the project gets going. Sometimes things get moving and you see stuff, maybe there might be some other opportunities to reduce costs as we get into the project too. So we just keep an eye on that through the whole process.
So almost $90,000 away from what was posted of 700,000. So you're a little off there.
That is accounting, engineering, architect, all that needs to be factored. By the time that's in there, it'll be 700,000.
Jeremy, was engineering for this $90,000?
No, we were at 20, just a little over 20,000, I think.
So
we came in at, but we will have to do construction, engineering as well, though. Inspection, staking. But
do we expect that to be another 70,000 to reach the 700,000 that's being
no,
thrown out there to the public?
I would estimate will probably be like maybe $10,000 for construction.
Okay.
Well, that's just status pro that we escalate everything up like 10 times and then let the public know.
I don't know if you're aware of what's happened, but apparently some folks went out on Facebook and lied to the public to share that this is a $700,000 project, to get people upset, because if you share the truth, they're not as apt to get upset. But if you can lie to them and explode things, then you can really get them riled. That's what happened. So we're just trying to make sure that the facts are out there for the citizens.
When we pushed forward, there was no lie.
So $610,705.
You start out at 630.
That's a nice reduction, so thank you for that.
So I guess we're just here, to get approval for signing the contract and issuing a notice to proceed. So if you approve it, we just need both of these, both contracts signed, so we can send them a fully executed signed contract as well. And then once we have everything, we'll get the county all the signed documents as well. So.
All right. Well, I would entertain a motion unless there's more
I
questions.
have two of that on that. Facebook and all the call I've had, everything's been negative on this thing, which it has been from the start, most of it, and now it's really more so once people see it's about to happen.
So I'll make a motion to proceed with signing the contracts with R&R Taylor Construction Incorporated. And issue the notice to proceed.
Thanks, Jeremy. Do we have a second to the motion? Seeing none, I will second the motion. Any further discussion?
Do you have
Mike?
any, you said that these departments are gonna pay in. Do you have a maintenance fee for this building? I mean, is that included in the fees that these departments are gonna pay in?
It's essentially a wash, Mike, because right now there's maintenance, so it's just a new building, so actually there should be a maintenance savings.
So does search
We have
and rescue
maintenance
take
at the
care of their
ambulance building
share?
right now. For example, for extension, now it'll just shift to a new building from a very old dilapidated building.
So does search and rescue take care of their share?
Mhm.
What's your cost of renovation for the existing search and rescue to weeds and mosquito?
We don't have a cost on that yet, but we do have quite a surplus in both those accounts. Scott has been saving over the years to be able to afford that, so I don't think there's going to be much of an issue. He doesn't need all the things that search and rescue was asking for, so it should be a whole lot less than the 70,000 that we got as a quote for search and rescue.
Right now, according to him, his budget can sustain the improvements that need to happen to make that building workable.
He's already got a lot of it done, just in the basic construction of the building. His needs are so different from search and rescues. So it should be, I would imagine, pretty minimal. All right, any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the motion to go ahead and sign the contracts and issue a notice to proceed with R&R Taylor for the building project, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No.
All right, motion carries.
These contracts, they accidentally, what was this one? They accidentally started to put a test on the wrong side, so, but they crossed it out, so.
Okay, that'll work. We the owner?
Well, once we issue the notice to proceed, we'll schedule a pre-construction meeting with the contractor, so we can, hopefully we can schedule for a day that it's a little warmer. But, we'll probably start off inside and then go out to the site. So I'll get, when we do get that scheduled, with everybody, if it's after the first, I'll do what we need to. We'll get that scheduled and with Mike and stuff as well. So, perfect.
There was a training at NACO this week, and I understand there was some discussion on this. Lewis and Clark, or excuse me, Yellowstone County is doing a construction project, major construction project with their maintenance supervisor as the owner's representative. So I think as that gets done more and more by other counties, it will be less scary, and instead of being the leader, we'll be able to follow those other counties. So we get it done, and I'm glad that the cost is only $610,705 as opposed to the higher price that it could have been. So thanks for
And
your
like I said, we'll monitor everything closely through the whole process, and wherever we can find ways to reduce costs, we will. So, yeah.
Thanks, Jeremy.
And if we'd had, a United Commission in the early days, 4 years ago, we could have done this for $400,000, $398. So, it's just the cost of waiting, and it'll be a good project when it's done. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so, one little piece of information. Wynn is not here. Wynn suggested last week that we have a strategic planning session, and Corey's been requesting board training for quite a while. I talked with Dan Clark, who ran much of the training for the commissioners last week, and he can do a board training for us the 18th of January, and we also talked about strategic planning. I would like to actually have the first department heads meeting talk about that and determine if they want to move ahead with that and how they want to move ahead. Unless, of course, you guys want to push to go ahead and do that now. I'm flexible to whatever you guys want, or the rest of the department heads and elected officials. And if anybody else has any thoughts on strategic planning for the county, I'm certainly open to those and can share with you what Dan shared with me. Okay, this is not a burning issue. So we'll just table it for the first department head meeting. That's all I have. Anybody else have anything else for the good of the order? Okay. All right, so we are adjourned at, get out the clock that works, 11:03. Thanks, everyone. Michelle, thank you for taking minutes. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Ms. Michelle.